Textual criticism is the science that undertakes to compare and classify the existing manuscripts of ancient writings, arrange them into families or groups, and trace their interrelations. In other words, how do we take all these thousands of copies of the New Testament that we have and compare them with each other, especially when there are variations? If all the manuscripts matched each other exactly, there would be no problem. We could copy any one manuscript and declare that copy the New Testament. However, men are not perfect, and neither were the copies of the New Testament that they made. Small errors were made with the result that the copies differed very slightly from the originals. Copies of copies had their own slight errors. The result is that the manuscripts differ somewhat from one another. So the question is, can the New Testament be accurately reproduced from the available evidence? The answer? A resounding yes. The first and most important test of accuracy of any manuscript is consistency. Do different manuscripts which developed independently, not being copied from each other, agree with one another? It turns out that the Greek manuscripts of the New Testament agree with each other to an extent that is truly amazing. For example, the book of Philippians contains only 16 variations in all of the manuscripts. None of those variations are significant. Variants typically involve things like spelling differences or mechanical matters such as style. On the whole, only about 1/60th of variants rise above trivialities, according to renowned textual critics Geisler and Nix. Gleason Archer, one of the 50 original translators of the New American Standard Bible, said, "Textual criticism yields an amazingly limited range of variation in actual wording. In fact, it has long been recognized by the foremost specialists in textual criticism that if any decently attested variant were taken up from the apparatus at the bottom of the page and were substituted for the accepted reading of the standard text, there would in no case be a single significant alteration in doctrine or message. This can only be explained as a result of a special measure of control exercised by the God who inspired the original manuscripts of Scripture, so as to ensure their preservation for the benefit of His people." Not only is there consistency to the manuscripts, many of the manuscripts are quite old. The older the manuscripts are, the better. The closer the date of a copy is to its original, the smaller the chance of its corruption. The situation for the Bible? Just as rosy here as it is for consistency in number. Fragments are known which date a mere 1 or 2 generations after the death of the last apostle. Larger fragments date to 200 AD and complete texts of the New Testament to 325 and 350 AD. This is a very small time gap. Sir Frederick Kenyon, who was the director of the British Museum and a great authority on manuscripts, said, "The interval then between the dates of original composition and the earliest extant evidence becomes so small as to be in fact negligible, and the last foundation for any doubt that the Scriptures have come down to us substantially as they were written has now been removed. Both the authenticity and the general integrity of the books of the New Testament may be regarded as finally established." Objective scholars are completely satisfied that the New Testament that we have today is the same New Testament that early Christians used. Serious scholars, whether Christian or not, accept the integrity of the New Testament. What has been transmitted is in fact exactly what the apostles originally wrote.